corner, Montreal's Tracy Ham. He's got the alley shuffle, and he'll counter left and right. Defensive Mike Pringle likes to work inside. It's up the gut football. Montreal's uppercut on the ground. Alfred Hitman Payton comes off the ropes, and there's no place to hide. Run for your life! The defending champions. In the double blue corner, Doug Flutie applies the sweet science to football. No mock.
That right hand hurt Rocky again.
And no sweat. Mike Pinball Clemens looks like a butterfly. And on defense, Lester Smith stings like a bee. Put up your dukes, you palooka. You know what time it is.
Get ready here.
No, it's not Caesar's Palace, it's the Sky Dome, but it's the scene today of the biggest prize fight in Canadian football this year. The Argos and the Alouettes, the top-ranked teams in the country. Are we ready for football or what? Good afternoon and welcome to the CFL on CBC. I'm Mark Lee. Well, an Argo win today will give them a team record 9 in a row. It will clinch first place and a bye to the Eastern Final. One more Toronto win will also give Don Matthews 147, and that would tie Frank Clair's all-time coaching record. The Alouettes, they can still finish first, but they've got to win all 3 remaining games, including 2 against Toronto. And to do that, quarterback Tracy Ham has to be at his best. He hasn't beaten Toronto since Baltimore moved to Montreal. That's 5 games now. He got a concussion in their last meeting, but has scoffed at suggestions that he might be intimidated by the Argo defense. Well, joining us on the broadcast today, as always, Chris Walby. I know you love Pringle in the running game. You love the offensive lineman, and for the 8th week in a row, you're featuring an offensive line.
Listen, I love these guys. Why? Because they're big. They're all about 300 pounds. They're bad because they're going to hurt you. And I tell you what, they're beautiful because Mike Pringle loves these guys, and they're a main reason he's got 1,562 yards rushing.
How about these guys? Jack Jackson, his CFL debut last week, 7 catches and 1 touchdown. Darryl Mitchell has a lock on the rookie award with 12 TDs so far this season. He is going to give these guys, they are going to give these guys fits.
Well, Harold Nash and Torrey Hunter have their work cut out for him because those 2 guys like to run cross routes. But I tell you what, if Montreal can get some good pressure on Doug Flutie, Mr. Hunter and Mr. Nash will be happy campers at the end of this game.
All right, we'll watch that matchup today. How about your game notes?
Well, I tell you what, for Montreal, the offensive line is key. They got to keep opening holes for Mike Pringle, and they got to give Tracy Ham time to get into his rhythm. On defense, they got to change the looks and coverages. Don't give the same thing to Doug Flutie or he'll kill you. For Toronto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do what they're doing on offense, and on defense, one thing, shut down Mike Pringle.
Hey, Mike Pringle still has the chance to break his single-season rushing record, but to do that, he's got to have a huge final 3 weeks of the season. For more on that, let's welcome Caroline Corey now to the broadcast.
Thanks very much, guys. Mike Pringle is indeed the league's most dominant rusher. He's got his sights set on 2,000 yards. Entering play today, he's some 438 yards shy, but the Toronto defense is certainly going to have something to say about that.
Mike Pringle is hard to bring down. He's you got to make sure you wrap up. As a defensive lineman, when you tackle him, you wrap up. Try and bring him to the ground.
He's so strong. His lower body is strong. Then you try to hit him high, and he's strong up there. So, I mean, he's definitely one of the hardest backs to tackle in the league.
He's coming at me, and I'm going into the hole. That's great. I mean, I'm confident to face that challenge and confident enough that I believe that I can win that challenge.
And what the Alouette players certainly don't want Ham to do today is if they're stopping Mr. Pringle, please use some other weapons, guys.
All right, Caroline, this should be a great matchup here at the Sky Dome in Toronto today. Number 1 versus number 2 in the CFL. The Alouettes and the Argos. The Alouettes won the toss today. They've elected to receive. There's Dave Ritchie, their head coach, who said yesterday, it's time for big-time players to make big-time plays in a big-time game. We'll see what happens. Don Matthews, one more win, as we mentioned off the top, Chris, and he will tie Frank Clair's all-time winning record of 147, and that is a tremendous milestone. Here we go. Mike Vanderjack to kick off for the Argos. The ball coming down to Chris Wright. He drops it at the 25. Can't find the handle. It's loose. Did he get it? It looks like Wright finally fell on it at Montreal's 30-yard line. Butterflies or what? Tracy Ham has had a tough go against the Argos. Those are his numbers so far this season. A good touchdown to interception ratio, but he hasn't been able to beat the Argos since he was a Baltimore Stallion.
Well, you got to look at that, but he only threw 3 passes last time, and I mean, that's a big factor. Keep Tracy Ham healthy, he can hurt you.
Alouettes in their first series of the ball game at their own 30-yard line. Ham handing off to big Mike Pringle. Finds an opening through the middle. Busts through a couple of tackles across center field. And what an opening by Mike Pringle.
Woohoo! Now this is what you're talking about. You're talking about your offensive line. Coming to play, baby. This is football. Smash mouth stuff in the trenches. They do a great job opening up a hole. Just get on everybody, man on man. He breaks a tackle. I believe it was Stewart, and runs. And I tell you what, they talked about him in the opening. It takes more than one guy. As you can see, 2 guys have to lasso him and bring him down.
Adrian Smith and Donald Smith finally bring him down at the Toronto 43-yard line. Ham back to pass, has time, looks to the far side. Milt Coleman was open, but the ball was underthrown.
Definitely underthrown. I think Tracy knows that. He's smashing his hands. Let's take a look at this offense, the offensive line. Mark Dixon back in the lineup. He's a devastating run blocker, as evidenced on the last play. Great group of guys up front. Uzuma Okiki, 2-time player of the week. Jock Climby leads this group of receivers. 11 catches, 184 yards receiving last week. Great supporting cast. Chris Armstrong, Mike Pringle out of the backfield, Michael Souls.
Climby, number 6 in CFL receiving with 1,017 yards so far this season. Nigel Williams is into the game at wideout. There's the pitch to Pringle around the right side, turns the corner and meets heavy traffic. That's Donald Smith filling on the corner.
And I like this play. Let's mix it up. Let's not just go straight at him. Everybody thinks that Mike Pringle just runs toward the hash. You run a little option, little pitch to Pringle, one-on-one. Nice play by the defender, bringing him down. Donald Smith fighting off the block of Armstrong.
It'll be 3rd down and a little more than 5 yards for the Alouettes, and so Terry Baker comes into the game to attempt a field goal. Baker's longest, 51 yards, so this one well within his range. The ball will be spotted right on the hash mark at the Toronto 46. Baker. Right down the middle, splitting the uprights, and the Alouettes are on the scoreboard in their first drive with a field goal from Terry Baker.
And we talked about this yesterday. Dave Ritchie said it's important we come out strong. We put points on the board early. They did that. They marched it after a nice run by Pringle. Nice field goal.
It's so important, Chris, for the Alouettes to not fall behind early, because the bread and butter is really the running game of Pringle, and so many times against the Argos they've had to abandon the run because they've been down by 14, 21 points.
Well, big time. I mean, that's the thing on defense. The defense, the key is to shut Pringle down. If you do that, you make Tracy Ham pass, and what happens is they can do different stuff. You can see him right here. Great blocking at the point of attack, and you can see just coming downfield, 64. Mark Dixon, we just talked about him, knocking, running over like a tow truck.
There he is around the corner.
Then you got a little option pitch, and they're doing different things. And this is the way to beat Toronto. Run it up the middle, take it to the wide.
The Argo defenders were telling us before the game, the only way you have a chance of stopping Pringle is to get to him in the backfield, because once he gets up to speed, he's trouble.
His legs are like pistons in a fine-tuned car, baby. They're up around his face mask. You try getting up, you're going to be biting a whole lot of kneecap.
There you see that stat. He now needs just 81 yards to beat the Alouettes single-season rushing record held by David Green. There's a short kick, and the Alouettes have it.
Well, I tell you, Dave Ritchie's pulling them all out of the hat today. Great job, and this all boils down to studying game film. They watched Toronto's return team. They realized that these guys, as soon as they kick the ball, turn and peel back. Does a great job of just a dribble kick here, trying to get to 10 yards. Watch Ray Bernard, 95. Johnny on the spot, picks it up, first down. This is what you want to come out of the gates like.
So Dave Ritchie taking a page from Don Matthews and opening with some trickery here early in the first quarter. The Alouettes stay on offense, 2 yards shy of center field. Flat pass. Pringle has some real estate. Bounces off one tackler, looks like Charles Anthony, and is finally driven out of bounds.
Good job mixing it up again, little swing pass. Let's look at Toronto's defense here. Rob Waldrop, the Arizona Desert Storm man. Leading this group is Andrew Stewart and Demetrius Maxey.
Maxey with 2 sacks last week.
Big game. Linebackers, Michael O'Shea does everything for this team. Not only leads tackles, special teams, he plays everything. You got to pull him off the field. And Donald Smith, big time on the corner, part of the Bermuda Triangle.
Boy, can he throw with the wallop. 2nd down and 5. Ham back to pass. Goes to the wide side. He's got a man open. And it's complete and just out of bounds. Chris Armstrong holding on to that one.
And they're going to have a measurement. But the nice thing I like about this is, watch this. He's got great time. He's got a chance to look. Look at it. He double pumps. Still has time to find a receiver. Throws the ball where only Chris Armstrong can catch it. That's the most important thing about a quarterback-receiver relationship.
Great catch by Armstrong as he came back for the ball and went down. And now there'll be a measurement. So close to a first down. And they have it. So the Alouettes will stay on offense. Doug Flutie and the Argo offense cooling off on the sidelines. And that's a key. Keep Flutie off the field if you're going to beat the Argo.
Listen, that is the big key. And I mean, we could talk about a million of them, but that is one major one. The less time Doug has the ball, the more time you have it. And obviously, the more time you have to put points on the board.
There's Flutie. He's got his chin strap still. Expecting to have probably gone in on that last kickoff. Waiting for his chance. Watching Tracy Ham go to work here for the Alouettes. First down. McGibbs. Around the left side is Pringle, but he is stacked up quickly. Demetrius Maxey and Ken Benson in on the tackle. Benson is fantastic will side linebacker. Leads this Argo team in tackles. Or rather, second in tackles.
He's
with
second
49,
with 49 tackles.
He's the all-time tackle leader for the Argonauts.
What I liked in that play, yes, he filled the hole really good, but what I really liked is you see some temper, some ugliness starting to come. Okiki and Demetrius Maxey having face-to-face conversations, and I guarantee you they're not exchanging phone numbers right there.
Shotgun now for Ham. Lots of time. Now bails out with pressure from Givens. Throws it downfield, and it's short, looking for Nigel Williams. And so pressure on the outside from the Argo defense.
And this is what Don Matthews' defense is predicated on. If you block 7, we'll bring 8. They picked up the blitz in the middle. Watch this in the middle of your screen. You got Mike O'Shea, you got Ken Benson, you got the whole troops coming in, but they can't block everybody. Reggie Givens to the outside. Tracy Ham, presence of mind to throw the ball away. Good job.
And so Givens and that Argo defense force the Alouettes into a field goal situation. The ball at the 51, that is the limit, or at least the longest field goal that Baker has achieved this year.
But remember, we're playing in ideal kicking conditions. There's no wind. The dome is closed here.
Baker steps into it. Has he got enough? It's wide. Here comes Pinball with the return, straight up the hash marks. Ooh, and he's hit hard by a host of Alouette tacklers.
And you know what you gotta like about this? They have the offensive line and the blocking team covering Pinball Clemens and do an excellent job of being downfield and making the tackle.
3-0 Alouettes early in the first.
You're the type that likes to start early.
Yeah. Look at that cloud over there. Weird shape, man.
That's okay. We're ready when you are. GMC Sierra. 365 days a year.
Wow, I'm surfing the net.
I'm emailing halfway around the world. Wow.
Introducing the most online from Sprint Canada. An internet service so easy, everyone can use it.
It's so easy, it's amazing. Even I can do it.
Get unlimited internet access for just $22.95 per month.
Wow.
Your first month free.
Wow.
And a 24-hour helpline.
Wow. Cool. Amazing.
Call toll-free 1-888-232-EASY. It's so easy, it's amazing.
This is easier than my VCR.
When it comes to shopping for auto parts, come into UAP Napa, because you can trust your local UAP Napa auto parts store for superior parts availability, expert advice, and friendly service. UAP Napa. We have the right parts for your import or domestic car or truck. So when you need quality parts and accessories, put your trust in UAP Napa Auto Parts. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Welcome back to the Skydome in Toronto, where the Alouettes lead it on a Terry Baker field goal. Here early in the first quarter, Doug Flutie gets set to go on offense. And what a season he has been having this year. 38 touchdown passes, more than 4,500 yards through the air. With one more touchdown pass today, he will break Tobin Rote's Argo record, currently tied at 38. That was set back in 1960. Argo scrimmaging inside their 25-yard line. Flutie in the shotgun. There's Payton. The shovel pass inside Payton. That's Daryl Mitchell with a big gain on the first offensive play for the Argos this game.
Well, they can do so many things. They can use pinball and the shovel. That time they use Daryl Mitchell coming around. You got to take Doug, you got to take Mitchell. Argonauts offensive line, Pierre Vercheval, Mr. Dependables, been there forever. Mike Kislick, Dan Payne, O'Day, and Williams rounding out the offensive line. Backs and receiver, Pinball Clemens says it all. I mean, you can't say anything else about him. Dimitrish, Mitchell, Jackson, Kerwin, and Mazzotti, fine receiving crew.
Pinball, a one-man band last week against BC with 3 touchdowns and 301 all-purpose yards. Argos first down. The give this time is to the pinball, and the Alouettes were waiting for him. Alfred Payton puts the grip on the pinball.
Does a great job of reading the play down the line. Pursues, sometimes gets in trouble, but does a great job. Doug Peterson, who Dave Ritchie said is the best defensive tackle in the league, and he's got hips, Birch, and of course Alfred Payton, the man who just made the play. Larry McSeat back from fracturing his elbow early in the year. Rashawn Giddings, his first start today, and Tracy Gravely. And Tom Europe, they're happy to have him back at safety in this team.
He has been a stabilizing force in the middle of that Alouette secondary. Flutie. Second down and 11. The loss was 1 to Clements. There's the pass to Flutie's buddy, Paul Massotti. Quick turn, and he's got a first down just over center field. Paul Massotti, who injured his ribs last week against BC and was questionable this week in practice.
Well, he's just done so much stuff. He took some great sticks last week, but he just is so smart at reading coverage. I mean, he goes down, he'll come back. You see, Doug is just looking for him right now. He wants Mazzotti all the way. Mazzotti does little runs, comes back to the ball, and just beats his man, turns it outside, and dives out of bounds. He doesn't want to get hit anymore. He's going to make the catch and get the first down.
The game was 16 by Massotti, looking for his 4th 1,000-yard receiving season. Alouettes showing blitz. There are flags on the play. Looks like
illegal procedure. Toronto 59.
Pierre Vercheval called for procedure, much to his dismay and someone's protestation down there.
And you got to see, for the people at home who can't see it, one of the greatest things about Alfred Payton is he's in Toronto's huddle. He's always yelling at the players. That's his way of getting psyched. He tries to create a rivalry, a hatred. He talks to people and he hopes that somebody will talk back to him.
You're telling me he calls you almost every week?
He calls me on the phone all the time. A lot of times we exchange recipes.
Yeah, right. There's Payton, quick off the draw. More flags on the play. Was he drawn off?
Well, offside, Montreal 57.
So Payton caught anticipating the snap there.
Well, we've seen Doug, and this is a sign of a great quarterback. He just fluctuates his voice, starts giving a little bit of hype. Alfred Payton, 12 sacks, leads the CFL. Was shut out last week, but a 93 in Winnipeg when he was my teammate. 22 quarterback sacks.
And he has been playing since August 31st with a bad ankle. Injured against BC, re-injured, and he's staying in there. First down. Argos. Flutie to the wide side. Andre Kerwin goes down, picks it up, and then is hit by Irv Smith with some support from Nash and Tom Europe.
And that's what I like. If you're a receiver, Kerwin's instance this time, he's going to catch the ball. He's going to fight for the ball. The nice thing about what Montreal's doing is they're coming. They're rallying to the ball. You see Doug Flutie throws cross field. That's a long throw, people. Andre Kerwin comes back to the ball, but watch the support. Watch everybody. They are gang tackling. You're going to make a catch, you're going to pay for it.
And you could see on that end zone shot, good coverage by the Alouette defense as Flutie made one read, then went to his second, and that was Kerwin. Second down and about 4 for the Argos at the Montreal 48. Flutie in the shotgun, dishes it off. It's complete to Jack Jackson for a first down across the Montreal 35 to about the 37-yard line before Tom Europe made the tackle. You know, Jack Jackson made his debut last week with those numbers, his first game ever in the CFL after being a late cut from the Chicago Bears.
Well, yeah, 7 catches, 101. They like him. They feel that he's walked in. He's so calm in the huddle. He runs such smart patterns. Here they're running a little crossroad. He just finds a little hole, comes inside, makes a nice catch.
Then, of course, Daryl Mitchell running a decoy for Jackson on that play. So far, the Argos on 5 plays have used 5 different players. Flutie spreading the ball around down the middle this time, looking for Jackson, and the ball is underthrown.
And had the ball been thrown on target, it would have been. You have Rashawn Giddings the new middle linebacker getting his first start. He gets depth, but Jack Jackson knows where he's sitting. You can see Giddings in the top of your screen. He goes right in front of the defensive backs and behind the linebackers, finds the hole, throw underthrown.
So already one of the early game keys we've been looking for, Jackson and Mitchell against Hunter and Nash, are being borne out here as Flutie goes after those two inside safeties. Second down and 10. Flutie, pressure, bails out of the pocket now. Looks back across the middle of the field. It's complete. And it's Daryl Mitchell inside the 10-yard line.
Well, Daryl Mitchell, who was relatively quiet last week, 2 catches for 15 yards, comes up with a big catch there. But Doug Flutie does a great job. Oh, look at Nash. You can see Nash at the bottom of your screen. He falls down. Daryl Mitchell, presence of mind, come back to the ball. But Doug Flutie on that play could have also ran. He escaped. Well, he got to the outside and could have ran her through, and that puts your defense in a real bind.
That's the danger of Doug Flutie. Daryl Mitchell, big candidate for Rookie of the Year with 12 touchdown catches so far this year. First down, Argos on the 8. The shovel pass to Daryl Mitchell again, but he's not going anywhere.
And that's a nice job.
Rashid Giddings making the tackle in his first pro start at linebacker.
And skating. Well, he played at Rutgers. He played at a great college, but he does a real nice job of flowing down the line of scrimmage. You can see they just do a little pitch to Daryl Mitchell, and he's just coming right across. He's got him all the way, and he's going to flow with him. You can see Alfred Payton. He's got to make the decision. Does he stay with Doug Flutie, or does he take the pitch man?
What do the Argos come with now? 2nd and 8. 2nd and goal. Nobody in the backfield. 6 receivers downfield. Flutie goes to the corner. It's Jackson. He's got it. Touchdown, Argos. Doug Flutie to Jack Jackson in only his 2nd CFL game, with close coverage on the play by Tracy Gravely, but not close enough.
Well, let's just talk about this. I mean, Doug Flutie, 39th touchdown, but he throws this ball where only Daryl Mitchell can catch this ball. I mean, look at this throw. This is on the money, or Jack Jackson, excuse me. Tracy Gravely has got good coverage on him, but the ball is over his shoulder where only Jack Jackson can catch it.
Mike Vanderjack lining up for the convert. It's good. And so Doug Flutie, on his first scoring drive of the game, caps it with a pass to Jack Jackson. 8 for 9 on an 88-yard drive, and the Argos lead it 7-3 in the first quarter.
The rivers up here are a beautiful thing. They can transport you. They can feed you. And they can keep your beer really cold. This is Wildcat Country, home of Lepac Wildcat, brewed with no preservatives for a natural, smooth taste.
First thing you pulled out of the water all day.
Anything but white.
White's good.
How about faux finishes?
Do they come in white?
No. We needed to know what kind of paint to use where.
Alkyd, latex, or what?
We found the perfect paint, lots of colors, and the right advice just down the street.
And Beauty Tone is backed by the no quibble guarantee.
Okay, you do the bottom half and I'll do the top.
Home hardware, help is close to home.
This goes on so easily.
Well, let's hope it comes off the same way.
Aaron is a champ, a member of the War Amps Child Amputee Program. He visited the Sky Dome to present the CFL with the Play Safe Award. Aaron knows what it means to play safe. He lost his leg in a lawnmower accident.
Thanks, Aaron. The CFL is a proud supporter of the War Amps Play Safe program. Aaron, do you have a message for the other kids watching today?
Safety is no accident.
So play safe.
Play safe.
Doug Flutie, on his first drive of the game, sets a new Toronto passing touchdown record with 39, one better than the great Tobin Rote, who set his mark back in 1960. So 37 years later.
How many years did Tobin Rote take to get that record? It's an interesting.
No kidding. Chris Wright back to return this kickoff from Vanderjack. Big strides and a seam down the middle of the field. And finally held back and tackled at about the 47-yard line on a 35-yard return of that 63-yard kickoff, and Norm Casola makes the tackle. There's Jack Jackson, 2 touchdowns in 2 games.
That's not a bad average. Let's take a look at this touchdown right now. They're running a little bit of stunt side with the defensive line, but Doug Flutie throws the ball. You can see Tracy Gravely trying to get his arm in there. This is a celebration, Dennis. Look at this. This is pretty happy. These guys were talking about maybe they weren't too excited before the game, but if they weren't then, they are now.
There's the scoring drive. Doug Flutie saying what really impressed him about Jackson last week in the huddle was how calm and relaxed he was for his first game in the CFL. Flags on the play as Ham goes on offense.
Now we got Mark Dixon definitely pulling out a little early.
Illegal procedure. Montreal 64.
You had the call on that one, Bluto. Dixon called for procedure, and that'll move the ball back 5 yards and make it 1st and 15. Montreal now at their 42. Mark Dixon with great foot speed for an offensive lineman. No disrespect to you big boys, but I once watched him be on the 5-yard line and track down a kick return at center field. Ham going deep, but blanket coverage on the play by Donald Smith on Mill Coleman.
Well, getting back to Dixon, they say that he could be the quickest O-lineman in the league, and there's a lot of guys that can run, and sometimes, you know, an offensive lineman, they're looking for the chubby guy, the head guy that's got a lot of weight, but you can find today's, in the 90s, these guys are good athletes.
Look at that coverage by Donald Smith, stride for stride with Coleman.
Like a blanket on a cold day, baby.
And so it forces Montreal into a 2nd and 15 situation. Pringle blocks for Ham as he goes outside, looks for Nigel Williams. He's got it, but doesn't come down in bounds. No good. And so the Alouettes are forced to punt.
Nice job by Tracy throwing the ball to Nigel. Nigel does a nice job of catching it, leaves his feet. Now, had the defender pushed him out, they would have called that a catch. He goes up on the ground to catch it. He's not pushed out, so because he lands out of bounds, it's a good call by the referee right there.
CFL, a receiver need only have 1 foot in bounds, and you could see on that one that his foot was just outside the white stripes. So Baker will punt from his 30. A high spiral that'll send the pinball, the only Argo, back to his 15-yard line. Pinball reverses field, stops again, defies gravity, goes down the sideline, and is finally corralled by Tracy Gravely. 52-yard punt from Terry Baker, and only a 3-yard return from the pinball as Dave Ritchie pumps his team up. They're only down by 4.
You're the type that likes to start early.
Yeah. Look at that cloud over there. We're in shape, man.
That's okay. We're ready when you are. GMC Sierra. 365 days a year.
Hi, we're the Kellys. I'm MG.
And I'm Molly.
And we're Morning Mayhem. On Mix 96. Hey, the cold winter stuff is coming.
But we won't be here.
We're taking a plane load of our lucky listeners to sunny Mexico.
So tune in and tan out.
Listen at 7:15 Monday morning, and you could be one of our lucky winners to fly on Canada 3000 and Signature Vacations for all the fun at the Continental Plaza in Cancun.
So tune in.
And tan up Monday morning at 7:15.
With MG and Molly on Mix 96.
The best mix of the 80s and 90s.